Hey, Divine Leader, and welcome to this episode with Sophia Kryst on moving from corporate to leading a global movement. So I'm so excited to be here, Sophia, with you and to co-create with you in this now moment. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm so grateful to be with you.
Yeah. And so, as each of you are settling in, I just want to share a little bit as Anna's been a long term client and Ascended Master Academy graduate, part of the lineage. And also, you've done DLA and quantum light and Magdalene Clothes and all the things. So, would you just kind of share a little bit about your journey with working with me and the guides and divine transmissions?
Wow, it's been a long journey together. I started, as you said, while I was in corporate job, and I did all the light transmissions and quantum light activations, and I went through a quantum leap in consciousness. And then going into the Ascended Mastery of Academy, it allowed me to broadcast my own bodies of work, to find my own voice, to be able to show up into the world as a leader, because this took a while for me to accept it and to embrace it. It allowed me to start my business from a higher, expansive vision and from this new earth reality instead of the old way to do things. So it really was a huge shift for my career, my purpose in life, and to lead from my higher self. So it's been a huge journey together. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And we also went to Egypt together. And I'm so excited that a part of this episode, we're going to be sharing a co created journey with ISIS in the Temple of Philae, and also that you're leading a trip to Egypt. So we'll also have information about that in the notes. Yeah, there's so much in there because you really started. So you're in by Barcelona. That you started like an in-person studio uh, right when COVID was beginning, and really just following your calling, your knowing, your partnership with Source. And I know that one of the things that I really admire about you, and I think your clients have as such a gift from spending time with you, is that you walk your talk, like you apply the higher plane principles on the physical plane, because it wasn't necessarily just like add water, instant global movement, successful business. Like there was physical plane action and also moving through the alchemical fire of your own transformation. So, is there more that you would say about that, especially in terms of your partnering with Source and how you use your body of work as well to create your body of work?
Yeah. Partnering with Source, it's actually the high purpose for me. So uh, I am completely guided constantly. Even though sometimes I do not understand what's going on, I do not understand what are the next steps or why I'm doing certain things. And yet I know I have to do it. It comes from this divine knowing within that you have to do that, whether it feels uncomfortable or not. You wake up every morning and you just connect with Source, connect with guides, and you just go through this vibration, and then you are guided, and you know you have to do this, and sometimes you don't want to because it feels uncomfortable. It makes you step out your comfort zone over and over again, because it's about increasing and expanding your limits. And this is not comfortable yet. It was the right thing to do because, as you said, starting from COVID and everything shut down and people at home and people scared, it was being completely trusting the divine that this was the right thing to do. And then learning, growing, and then expressing who I am, even though at the beginning it was scary for me to express beyond corporate job and beyond what I used to do and used to be, and express who really I am. So it's been a long journey, and the reward is there. The reward is that all that you do and all that you become, it's just by showing up every day, and then you lead by example because this is who you are. This is what you share to the world, and it matters. And then the shift happens. So for me, it's the most important thing, this partnership with Source. This is what makes me wake up every day and do what I do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree that that's really, at Divine Transmissions, what we always have our eye on is evolution and consciousness and our spiritual development and becoming more of our embodied source energy and partnering with Source. And at the same time, being able to apply those ascended masteries on the physical plane into our daily lives. And I think your story is so inspiring in so many ways. And it just makes me so happy. Like, we went to Egypt together and now you're leading a trip to Egypt and just all the amazing stuff that you do. And also that you have kids, like you're the main breadwinner. So there's also that, as individuals have, like, oh, I can't because of those fears, that you really have embodied and shown and gone through those, that actually you can. And one of the things that I really remember, and part of what inspired the Ascended Master Academy as well, was that, like, one of your first launches in your program, like your unique body of work based program, I think you brought in like $50,000. And so I know investing as well to work with us is a leap of faith. And then starting at Opus level, rather than like when I began, I was, $25 an hour for a massage, and really being able to start like with your unique body of work, not teaching your mentor's body of work. And then also having that financial flow. So is there anything else that you feel like is important to highlight, kind of our journey together and some of the successes, whether that's financially or how many clients you've reached or those kinds of things on the physical plane too?
Yeah, on the physical plane, the shift, it was that playing out from this higher level of consciousness, and from that place, starting my business, it matters. It makes the difference, because I do not teach the old way, or I do not bring in the old way, but the new frequencies, and starting from this higher consciousness. So it's completely different. And really, this vibration attract people, and people come because this is what really feel. They feel more than what I express by words, and this is what matters. So yeah, it is really important. And it was a leap of faith, yet all that we do is a leap of faith that it's gonna work, and no matter what, it's gonna happen, and it worked. So You know deep within you, you have to do it. And then when you say yes, everything just unfolds. And this is how it works. First, it works in the etheric plane, in the world of energy, and then transformation occurs, and then you bring it into matter, and then you manifest it. If you do not do the work physical in the energetic world, it doesn't manifest the way that you want. So this is first. So the inner work is first, and then you see the results in the matter.
Yeah, and it feels like this, what's emerging as we're speaking as well, is also that inner rudder or compass of the heart and the deep knowing of that next step that really buoys us during those times where we're making a change and things are taking form in the physical, like that. Even though there may be doubt, or there may be like, why did I create this beautiful in-person studio and then everybody's in lockdown? Like those kinds of questions or doubts, or things not just right away happening, or slower vibrations coming up. And one of the things I often have seen over the years, and the guides talk about as well, is that we can confuse that as, oh, I'm on the wrong path, rather than that's just the slower vibrations coming up to the surface. It can even be an indication that we are on the right path, because having a business is certainly a spiritual frontier and a beautiful way to accelerate our own spiritual development. So I really feel like that's one of the messages that's emerging as we're talking about this. And absolutely, that as above, so below, as within, so without, the inner plane connecting, as you're talking about, to the higher planes as well. So what are some of your bodies of work and your message and the work that you're up to in the world?
I want to mention one thing before is what you said about this solar vibration environment. Yes, it's essential to have your environment to grow, because when you start this business in our world, which is new wave, and this is new frequencies, and then you implement this in a world that it doesn't exist, you need your environment flame to keep your vibration and to keep raising your vibration and to feel confident. That's why it's so important to be in a group like yours, for instance, because then you are doing the right thing at the right time, even though in the outer world it doesn't seem that way. You need this strength within you. So yeah, this is important. And in terms of my body of work, I offer different help in the different stages of the soul in their evolution in consciousness, from changing first the mindset, because the mindset is what keep people stuck most of the time. If you do not understand how your mind works and how to shift your mind, and you cannot keep evolving, because you try to shift things, but your mind keeps making this trick and give you stuck. Yet, this is only the first level. Then you go deeper and deeper into higher states of consciousness. And then I bring in these frequencies of the ascension to the divine presence, and the frequencies of the Christ consciousness through the frequencies of love. And then there's new bodies of work that wants to bring in, yet they are at higher levels of vibration, and the soul needs to go to the different initiations before that, because the next ones are this alchemy of transformation for liberation of the soul to become the human being, the divine being, so the new blueprint to be established. So is this evolution in consciousness for the human being to become the divine being in all the different stages. And all of them are so important to make this shift and create this bridge for humanity from the 3D world or dimension to higher dimensions of consciousness and multi-dimension, and living this new earth, this new reality, the golden age reality. So I feel so passionate about this because it's what I've been wondering all my entire life. And then I know how much this can be the difference for everybody. And it makes me feel so joy, and it makes me feel that my purpose and my job matters. So I love it.
Yeah. And that's really too where it takes all of us to lead the evolution in consciousness, and really having those overlap of missions, as you know, Thoth and the guides often speak of as well, that there are these evolutionary stages in consciousness, and being able to manifest something in physical form, like a $50,000 launch. It's an evolutionary stage. Yes, it's about bringing energy into form, yet being an ascended master at manifesting, it's an evolutionary stage in consciousness that we can't go from our 3D bipedal operating system to embodying our divinity instantaneously. And that's also why we love creating bodies of work, because as you create your unique body of work, my cat has just been going wild the whole podcast. I don't know if you can hear her, but as we create our bodies of work, then we become more of our creator being self. So all of these things, the playground of our physical plane life, are keys to acclimating to our divinity. And how the guides talk about, like in divine light activation, you embody your light being self, which is a different frequency than your soul, and yet a higher frequency, let's say, than your mindset, for example. And that becomes an evolutionary stage where in AMA, Ascended Master Academy, you're like embodying your Ascended Master self, to be an Ascended Master who walks among. And I know that that's like a big promise for a program. That's a big mission for us to be up to for this lifetime, to assist those that are calling to embody divinity. And yet, like, that's why we're here, and that deep down to the bone fulfillment that I see in your eyes from living your mission, and like the deep down to the bone fulfillment that I feel from knowing that I'm not going to drop this body like until I fulfill the mission that I've come here to. It's just so exquisite and expansive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I feel like this is a good time to bring in the guides and connect. And you're also an amazing sound healer, and your voice is just gorgeous. So not to put you on the spot, but I really feel like giving folks an experience would be beautiful. And then we can see if we connect with Isis in Egypt, or what, kind of emerges. Does that sound good to you?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to take a moment to connect, and inviting each of you to connect to your heart, to know that you're here for a reason, that you are a co-creator in what we are bringing forward, and that this is always in response to your free will and conscious choice. Hello, dear ones. This is Thoth with ISIS and an expanded council of love, moving more into the forefront of this divine transmission. We would invite each of you to close your eyes if you are open to this, or to look at the floor in front of you and to begin to tune into your heart. And as you tune into your heart, have a sense of your heart beating, the internal compass that's always within you, like the drumbeat of Mother Earth, of the Earth Star, of Gaia. This beat and the sacred pause, attuning to your internal rhythm of the heart, for we are about to journey together to the Temple of Philae, to the Temple of Isis, dedicated to the energy of divine love. So, beginning by tapping into your inner sanctuary, your heart space, that space of divine love that's for you and you alone, and connects you to the inner sanctuary of Source. So, following that heartbeat and having a sense of there being the heart of the Temple of Philae, like a drumbeat, calling you to the temple, into the temple. You may imagine walking into the temple towards the Holy of Holies, following this inner calling, following this inner calling. And as you arrive within the Holy of Holies, you are met by your unique council of love beings, including Isis and Nephthys. And we are gathering for this sacred ceremony. And so as you are arriving, know that you have a unique purpose for arriving. No matter how we direct this ceremony, you have come for a reason. And so we would invite you to settle in and to have you, Sophia, and your connection to your guides continue this sacred ceremony. We're also honoring Bastet, the cat goddess, who is very much present as a part of this ceremony. So you may imagine that there are also cats and kittens walking in the temple space.
I am the Cosmic Mother, flowing through the Philae temple, the Isis temple, and I spread out these frequencies of divine love. Just open your heart to receive this divine love that is touching every cell of your body, all the parts that are not feel loved are now embraced. And this is a preparation for what's about to happen at the end of this master year 2022. To receive the full frequencies of the Christ consciousness, the embodiment of divine masculine and divine feminine in sacred union, for then to raise the new golden age, the divine child, Horus. The frequencies of the Christ embodied being. Yet, the frequency of Divine Mother is necessary to pour through each soul. The return of the Divine Mother, the Cosmic Mother in each being, to find this balance between Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. So then, the golden ray, wisdom, the divine being, to emerge once again.
And we invite you to touch the altar stone energetically with one hand and one hand on your heart. And as you touch the altar stone of the inner sanctuary of divine love, have a sense of your heart and the heart of the Cosmic Mother, the heart of the divine, beginning to beat as one, to come into harmonic resonance for this incarnation. And your journey thus far is an act of love, gathering a return of love within yourselves as you sense the cycle of the energies of what are being transmitted, moving towards a place of completion. Just know that you have received and gifted and had what's yours to give and have and receive from this ceremony. And as you go to leave the inner sanctuary, knowing you can return again, either in person or in energy, you may slowly leave the temple and return to your own heartbeat. Return to your own heartbeat, feeling your body, hearing the sounds around you, and perhaps rubbing your palms together or moving your toes, gently bringing yourself back to this space. We are extending much love and gratitude for this co-creation, for your choice to be here and to join us, and for your contribution to the evolution in consciousness as we gently step aside. All is light and love, and we are all. And And as everyone's transitioning back, Sophia, is there anything that you would add to integrate this transmission?
I would like to share about this important trip to Egypt at the end of this year, because this is a call for 24 souls that already agreed before incarnation to go there, to receive these higher frequencies and spread out to the earth this December on the portal 22nd, 12, 22, 22. It will be a massive stream of incoming frequencies, because there will be an alignment with the earth, the sun, and the heart of creation. And this massive frequencies is going to spread out along the ley lines of the earth, and then it will create this new balance between this masculine and feminine energies, allowing the return of this golden age. And it is so powerful and so important, not just the retreat there, yet to be tuned into this transmission for this day. So just asking the people to listen to their hearts and to learn more about this day, because it's going to be very powerful to connect and to be receiving these new frequencies, because this is an event that it will spread out all over the world. So it's going to be very important.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. And Danielle here back in the forefront. And so we'll include the links to find out more about Sophia and the Egypt trip. And you also have an opportunity to join in spirit as well as going in form. And I just really highly recommend your work. And if each of you is feeling called in resonance with Sophia, that Sophia, you're just an amazing guide, and really also so willing to go into all the dimensions. So to have you on someone's transformational journey, it's like having a very powerful, like potent, like kick ass ally. Sometimes you need that, right? When you're going into and through and transmuting, as well as such high vibration that your work really comes from the inner sanctuary of source. And I know that when we first started to work together, that was a little bit like, I don't want to say confusing yet, going, okay, can I really work from the inner sanctuary of source? And how will people get that? Like, will they be able to get it? And of course, yes, absolutely. They're willing to get it. So yeah, I agree as well that this date is really powerful. You know, Thoth and the guides have been talking about as well, that 10-year decade cycle from 2012 to 2022. So even if you're listening to this recording after this date, like you're still going to get even more from that, because we're highlighting this date. So as we're wrapping up here, any last words you want to share?
I am so grateful. Gratitude is my word for all the journey that I went through in a short period of time that allowed me to make the shift in consciousness. This is possible. I encourage people to make the leap of faith and to choose this work, because it really works, and it really, I am the embodiment of this transformation. So yeah, it works.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Really is beyond words. gratitude is something that I've been feeling every day of my life, because I was able to shift and transform so much. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure, our pleasure. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Well, I just feel like folks are still coming back. So take your time as you're transitioning from this podcast. And I love too that we're really modeling the new paradigm and part of the Ascended Mastery lineage together, co-creating, walking this path, really recommending each other's work. I feel like that's such important to underscore that that is the new paradigm, that we come together and more becomes possible when two or more are gathered, and that there is that divine appointment that folks have to work with you. And if I can be a vehicle to introduce folks to you, I'm more than that, just makes me very happy. And vice versa, that there's just that circulation of energy, more than enough to go around, and really the spiritual leadership in the new paradigm, the new earth of business as well. Good. All right. Well, I was just chatting a little bit to assist because there was so much energy that we brought through there that I know that we're wrapping up the podcast, but just inviting each of you, drink a glass of water, rub your palms together, go out in the garden, put your feet in the ground, just taking some deep breaths before moving on to your next activity. All right. Well, so much love to you, Sophia. And it's going to be an amazing journey to Egypt. And yeah, give Sekhmet a hug for me.
Thank you very much. I'll do it.
You're welcome.